Good evening, one and all present in this second day of the virtual session of the International Workshop on Redefining Libraries with Digital Tools. Once again, I welcome you all to this online event. I am also expressing my sincere thanks to all the participants who have actively participating in this 3 day activity and giving their valuable inputs to make this workshop useful for everyone, for all the library professionals. As we are all aware that library, as we have discussed yesterday, that library plays a very important role in our day-to-day life, especially for the library users, and we are supposed to provide best services to based on the available resources and services to our library patrons. In order to understand more about the tools and technologies, we have with us Dr. Nabi Hasan sir to address and throw the lights on the different aspects of different technology with a special reference to RFID in libraries. On behalf of all the participants and my own behalf, we welcome you, sir, to this 3 days activity on redefining libraries with digital tools. Before we begin the session, I would like to brief about Dr. Nabi Hassan, sir. Sir is a very distinguished library professional with an impressive track record, having received numerous awards and accolades for his contribution to the field. He is currently the head librarian at the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, and has earlier served as the university librarian at Aligarh Muslim University. He is the first Norman E. Borlaug Fellow from India, trained at Cornell University. Dr. Hassan has been honored with many awards, including FSLA Engineering Librarian of the Year Award, Boni Hilditch International Librarian Award, Royal Society of Chemistry's Librarian Choice Award, Salish Dr. Harish Chandra, Susila Chandra National Best Librarian Award, and many more. He is the 2024 president of the SLA Engineering Community and a joint chair of the 2024 SLA Annual Conference. To his credit, he has published several books and papers. It is indeed pleasure and honor, sir, to receive you, and we are eagerly waiting to listen to you, sir. So, without wasting much of time, now I request you to, sir, to take over the session and just address all of us on the suitable technology to benefit the professionals and library users. Over to you, sir.
Uh, just trying to share my screen. So let me check. So I should share window or entire screen.
It is up
Doctor,
to you, sir. If you share entire screen, so if you move in between, it will be helpful for you. Yeah, it has come, sir. I am just adding to the screen.
great. So thank you very much, Dr. Tripathi. You have been always taking some initiatives which are helpful for the library professional. In fact, you have been working very hard for the profession, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Uh, we had a very hectic day today. I just reached home. We were having a staff recharge program today in which every major library division is supposed to present with their staff what good practices they are following, like electronic resources division or collection development or reader services or computer applications. And apart from this, we are also inviting one or two keynote speakers who are like delivering their expertise to my library professionals. So it was a very fruitful day. So, but of course, since it was a hectic day, so I could not, spare time to fine tune my PPT. But I hope these slides will be in order, and I hope my experience with this session will be enriching for the attendees. And I will be more interested in discussing the things, because practically This RFID was implemented by IT Delhi Central Library in 2010, and the equipments were imported from the France using Texas brand. So Texas brand were great brand. They are still with us, and many of the equipments are still working. But since we have migrated to open source, we are no more using any middleware. So I think there are issues in upgradation or like syncing. So slowly, we have stopped using those taxis equipment except staff stations. So I think apart from my theoretical presentation, I will be very happy to answer all those queries those the attendees might be having, because my practical experience is more important comparing what I will be delivering, because whatever I will be delivering, that has been taken from different resources. So basically, I wish to acknowledge all those resources. So, Dr. Tripathi, if there are any issues in sharing or any other issue, if my slide is not moving, please let me remind me, because I will be seeing the slides only, not this
Okay, sir.
slide from StreamYard. So I think you are able to
Sure,
see
sir.
my outline of
Yeah,
presentation.
it is moving, sir. Yes, sir. It is moving
Okay,
now.
great. So again, thank you very much, Dr. Tripathi and his team for hosting me on this platform. Thank you, attendees, for joining at this dinner time, which is 8:15 p.m. in India. So this is a very crucial time, having dinner with your family and friends. So thank you joining this moment. So, as part of this presentation, I will be covering, Dr. Tripathi, how much time I have? I have time up to 9 p.m., or before that I have to conclude. Dr. Tripathi?
It is up to you. You can take as much you want. You have time up to 9:30. Before that, also you can conclude, sir.
So, okay. So, my target will be to like roughly conclude about 9 o'clock, so that I can take up the
Sure,
questions
sir.
if there are any question. I hope there should definitely be questions. So, as part of this presentation, I'm going to cover some background information of radio frequency identification, that is RFID. I will be discussing about feasibility and planning, like if you wish to implement the RFID technology, if you have yet not implemented, then these aspects could be important for you, like feasibility and planning. And if you are a government institution, I think tendering is the one of the important component. Now we are processing papers through GEM as well, but of course still you need to prepare documents like financial bid or technical bid. So if you are a government institution or like deemed to be institution, I think you need to understand the tendering process as well. If you are a private institution, you can disregard this component. uh, then I will be talking about different components of RFID technology, and how does library RFID system work. So it may be quite useful for the new people. There could be some repetitive thing, or there could be some of these slide which may not be of interest to those people who are already using the RFID from like beginning or from many years. So it is very difficult to identify which slides are useful for whom. So Dr. Tripathi, I will be covering all like beginners aspect, then the people who are using it, and those who want to advance the technology. So please excuse me if some of these slides you may find boring or repetitive. So I shall also be talking about advantages and limitations of RFID technology with reference to libraries, and then I will be making a small comparison, uh, because still some of the people are using barcode. Many of the bigger libraries are using EM technology, and some of the libraries are also using hybrid technology. So we'll be talking about barcode versus RFID, EM versus RFID, and of course then hybrid technology, where we are using EM and RFID both, or maybe some other integrated technology, including you can say some biometric technology, something like that. We will also be talking about book ATMs, like we have. uh, like uh, our currency dispensing machine, like automated teller machine. Same way, we have book ATM concept as well. That may not be there in India, but it is very simple. Like you are using these type of machine on airport for like water bottles or maybe some chips or something else, where you are uh, like putting some coins or maybe using some online payment method, and then you are collecting the food and beverages as well. So it is very simple technology. Then of course many of you might be aware, but still I will be sharing my knowledge on RFID vendors with the presence in India, especially the northern India, and also we'll be talking about smart cards, biometrics, expert system, and robotics in libraries integrated with the RFID system. And I will also be presenting a result of a small impact study of RFID implementation of IIT Delhi, like whether it could yield good result for IIT Delhi. It is a little bit small study and little bit older as well, but I think it is equally important and relevant in today's context as well. And then I will be summing up. So, when people think about RFID technology, it is not a new technology. We have been using this technology from so many decades. It's not a new technology. And especially we started using this technology, means Britishers, humans started this technology using from World War II. And initially, in this World War II, it was used for aircraft identification. There were so many aircraft, so sometimes it was very difficult to identify the aircraft. So Britishers started using the RFID technology for aircraft identification. Then from late 1960s, US government started using RFID to tag the nuclear or other hazardous material, the material which was very dangerous and which was not good for the human beings. They started using it to identify that type of material. And then we could see the first patent for active RFID tag, which uh, rewritable memory, which was obtained by Mario on January 23, 1973. So, as far as the patent is concerned, it is not very old year. It was given in 1973. And RFID in India also, we started using very early, even in 1940s as well, for defense application. And first time it was used for commercial purpose in 1980 for cattle tracking application. The uh, the ear of the cattles were punched, and the tag was placed there to identify the cattle, and those cattles were used for various purposes. uh, for identification, could be used to where they are going, could be sent to some like areas for some, you can say, security reasons, maybe some spying purpose, and many other purposes. And the first library RFID supplier started to market its systems for RFID in 1990s. So in this way, we can say that we started using RFID in the libraries very late, that is in 1990s, that is from 1991 onwards. But of course, RFID was in use since long. And you can see today RFID used in every aspect of life, especially you are saying you are using the car, and we have to place the RFID tag for toll collections as well. And you are seeing in malls and everywhere RFID used for different purposes, to stop theft, to identify object, and it is used in hospitals, used in libraries, used in the campuses as well, like at the Delhi campus. Or I have seen people using it in 2006 when I was a Norman E. Warlock Fellow in Cornell University, New York, USA. So the gates, we used to open the gate, or we used to travel in the public transport system, or we used to open the library gate as well using our RFID based card. So its use has now become widespread, and these are some of the reasons that uh, the suppliers or manufacturers like Texas have stopped manufacturing RFID tag for libraries, because they are getting more revenue, more business from other sectors. So, what is the need of RFID? I think many of you may be little bit confused as what is the need of RFID. So, most of we what we think is that RFID is to control theft. Most of us are thinking that RFID technology used basically to stop people that they should not steal any document, any precious material. But please remember, that is not the main purpose of RFID. RFID is not for that purpose only. If you want to stop people stealing your things or books or other things, I think you should use EM, because EM technology is more secure technology comparing RFID. If you want to use for security reasons only, because it takes the color of the book, it is not easy to identify whether the RFID tag is visible, and it can easily be compromised. So I joined IIT Delhi in 2009, and immediately after that, we few of us, my colleague Dr. JP Srivastava, Dr. Neeraj Chaurasia, myself, we were initially given this project of RFID implementation in the central library, and we were given that time about 1 crore rupees, because the technology was very costly that time. And I think as I could realize, the first purpose of installing RFID technology in IIT Delhi Central Library was branding. Oh, we are IIT Delhi and we are not having RFID technology. We are lagging behind. So one of the first reasons for implementation of RFID technology was the branding. IIT Delhi should have all the technology. We are the early adopter of technology. We should have it. Then other purposes were like faster checkout and faster check-in. Means we wanted to give the freedom to our student, so that they can, get the book issued as per their convenience. Like my library remains open from 8 a.m. to 3 a.m. in the night in normal days. We are almost closing for 4 hours. Again, we are open from 7 a.m. and from 8 a.m. for users. And we have most of our days are exam days. So during exam, we are open 24 by 7. So we wanted to empower our users by providing them self checkout facility, and also we wanted to empower our user to return the book as per their convenience. Why they should come to the circulation counter during 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So we wanted to empower our user. That is why this book drop box or faster check-in was thought. And of course, we wanted to give freedom for faster renewal as well. Now you can renew the books using software as well, and also through email as well. But of course, using RFID, you have satisfaction. Once you are clicking the button on your own, you are seeing the receipt as well, and now you are getting the email as well that your book has been renewed. It gives you more satisfaction. Of course, security is also one of the reasons. If the ES pedestal, electronic article surveillance gates are there, people are little bit cautious and worried that if they will be taking out the book, then they may be caught as well. And we are finding many such people doing as well. But smarter people cannot be caught, because this RFID technology can be easily compromised. Because the RFID tag is completely visible. People can simply remove the RFID tag, and there are other ways as well for compromising the technology. But those ways I will be covering in the disadvantages or limitation part. And of course, it is also useful for tracking the misplaced documents. So if you are using the RFID equipment, you can just identify a misplaced book, a book belonging to engineering collection. If it is misplaced, in the humanities and social sciences or like management. So if you are passing through the RAT, then at least you can find out that this 600 number belong to some other area, and it has been intentionally misplayed so that the particular person is only able to read that book. Okay, then of course uh, there are limitations of barcode technology and EM, because barcode technology do not give you the freedom to self check in, check out, or uh, like security. And EM technology gives you more security, but of course the people cannot self check out. Uh, Only with EM they cannot self check out, or there are problems sometime in the book drop as well until it is a hybrid technology. And of course, the another important reason is when you have implemented the RFID technology, you can save the time of staff and of course of the users as well, because people will be. It is just like the banking system. How many people nowadays are going to bank? Not many people are going to bank, because you are able to do transactions online, UPI and all those things. And also, if you have to take out the money, you can visit simply ATM. You can deposit money through ATM as well. In the same way, people need not to visit the circulation counter. They just can take out the book in the night at 2 a.m. and they can self check out, or they can drop the book whenever they find it easy. Or of course, if the campus is big, you can place a book drop box in the girls hostel as well, which may be little bit away from the main library. So it saves a lot of time of staff and the users as well, and it gives you convenience. It gives you comfort of using your time judiciously. And of course, your transactions are streamlined, means you can identify, track, sort, or detect library holdings. So these are some of the important needs or advantages. Few of the more advantages I will be covering as part under advantages, and when I will be talking about comparisons. So this is the diagram which shows, the credit goes to my colleague Mukesh Bahera, who created this diagram, or who imported this diagram from somewhere. So this is the implementation plan. If you want to implement RFID technology in your library, you first need to identify or introspect why you want RFID. So you have to begin with your goal as why you want RFID. Once you have identified where RFID will deliver value to your library and its customer, for example, if you have a small library, like a library of 5,000 books only, you need not to implement RFID technology, because there may not be much transactions, theft cases, convenience, etc. in just 5,000 collection. Or if there are very few people visiting your library, it could be a special library of a Ministry of Education or maybe some other ministry, then I think you need not to have a RFID system. But once you are convinced that you need to have a RFID technology implemented, you can plan accordingly. And then you can finally think about implementation. And as you can see on my screen, let me change the cursor uh, pointer. Okay, so you can see here many people are trying to join these dots. So it means if you have finally made up your mind that you are going to implement the RFID technology, then you can make a team of your people and you can finally implement it, and your organization is ready to adopt it. So once you have decided to implement the RFID technology in your institution, you need to conduct some feasibility study. Feasibility study means before actually finally implementing the project, you are basically assessing the feasibility. You are assessing the implementation plan, like whatever could be a problem in implementation. You are trying to identify in advance. So smooth implementation requires thorough planning. So So before actually implemental, you are trying to do some feasibility study, and a committee may be constituted with expert and administrator for conducting the feasibility study, and that committee may assess the requirements for the institution, and whether your institution need or not needed this. They can like identify what is the budget available. Then you need to identify required hardware as well and software, like will you be going for cloud based installation, or you will be using a standalone server. And you have to identify the software that you are going to use with RFID. For example, if you are going to use open source software like Koha, you need not to have a middleware. I think your SIP2 will help you implement it. But if you are going to commercial software, that may require a middleware as well. For example, earlier we were using Lipsys software as a ILMS. Then we were also using L Smart. So that basically was a middleware which was communicating between RFID equipment and the our database server. Okay. Then also you need to assess cost effectiveness, how this technology in the long run will help you save money on maybe manpower, or maybe on uh, some other aspect, like equipment in the long run may become cheaper. And you have to decide the timeline as well, like how much time you are going to take while you are implementing the RFID technology. Of course, gaining management approval may be a big challenge, and it may look into the return on investment. In an institution like government institution, once it is decided that you are going to implement the RFID technology and the money has been given to you, allotted, that may not be a big problem. But if you are going to implement it in an institution like private or a corporate house, then they will look into return on investment as well, like what will be the value of this implementation, how it will help us uh, in like getting back the returns against the money we are going to invest on RFID technology. So the committee should see some demos and visit some of the implementation. For example, if you are going to implement in Delhi, you can visit few of the libraries which have already implemented RFID technology, and then you have to see the methodology for implementation, which may be in a couple of phases, like you want to implement in one go, or you want to implement in first and second phase. Like in first phase, I'm going to tag all my books and I'm going to have one self checkout machine, and in the next page, I may add book drop box, or maybe handheld uh, scanner, or maybe some other things. But of course, data validation is the most important thing before actually starting the tagging work, because until and unless your data is okay or verified, then implementation may not help. Because if the accession number on the book is incorrect, or the title is incorrect, or there could be some other problem in the database regarding your collection, then the tagging will also be affected. And if people will try to issue something, instead of getting a correct title, something else will be issued if there are error in the database. So I think data validation is one of the most important aspect you have to consider before actual implementation of the RFID technology. Then you have to see some of the best practices in deployment. Like you have to uh, study some of the tenders, you have to study some of the published papers, you have to study some of the reviews, which can help you at checklist and best practices in deployment. Okay, like you have to see what is the budget available with you and how much flexibility you have. You might be having 20 lakh with you, but if you do not have freedom to be flexible, like if there is a condition that you have to invest 10 lakh on ES pedestal and 5 lakh on like book drop box and 5 lakh on checkout uh, kiosk, then what will happen with the tagging work? So you should have flexibility in implementation of the RFID technology with whatever budget you have been you have been provided. So you can accordingly decide. Then privacy policy and the standards that you are going to use for RFID tagging equipment is important. For example, in case of IIT Delhi, when we started implementation of the RFID technology, there were reservations to faculty members about their data being stored in the RFID card. And you will be surprised to know that Central Library IIT Delhi is the first unit of IIT Delhi which actually started issuing RFID based cards. So initially, those RFID based card were used not only as a library card but as institutional card as well. And the signatory was the professor in charge library that time. Professor GP Agrawal, who was the index coordinator, was the uh, signatory to the RFID cards. Later on, the institute adopted the RFID card for whole institution, and the signatory got changed. For some time, it was perhaps a registrar. Then finally, it is the security officer, or it is up to the institution. Like for a student, they may decide someone from the dean students, or for employees, they may decide as per their convenience. So then you have to identify the purpose specification, means library users must be given information of the purposes for which tag and readers are used. Like initially, people were little bit uncomfortable. Their data is being stored in the RFID tag, and they are like being called for to circulation counter for tagging of their card. Okay, then, of course, while you are trying to implement it, you have to see the robustness, scalability, or accuracy of the RFID system. Can be scale up or scale down, how accurate it is. And these things are time bound to implement the technology, because if you will not be able to implement it in a limited time, the technology may become irrelevant, or it may become defunct, or it may become outdated. Then training and experience is essential, especially to avoid any end user confusion, like how the students will be using that technology for self check-in, checkout, renewal, etc. And there should be someone who should be accountable for all the purposes. Mean someone should be made in charge of all these activities, so that in case of any issue or questions or complaint, someone can take up those questions or complaint at user level. So, for example, if you want to constitute a balanced RFID committee, we should have people from the domain. Like in case of IIT Delhi, we were having people from uh, Department of Electrical Engineering, more specifically a microwave expert. Microwave expert means a technology which is higher than the RFID technology. There should be some domain expert, or maybe people or librarian who are having expertise in RFID implementation. Of course, we should have a person from administration, so that our implementation and work is really smooth. Of course, if the institute regulation provides, we can have people from audit or maybe store, depends. Generally, audit people do not want to become the part of the committee. Otherwise, how they can raise the objection, how the proposal will be vetted by them. So there could be a person from store instead of audit if regulation do not permit. Then of course account people are always required, and try to include all the senior persons in the from the library team to get going smoothly. So I think tendering is one of the most important process as far as the RFID implementation is concerned. If you are a government institution, or if your institution is following some specific processes, if you want to become a foolproof implementer, then I think tendering, you need to understand the tendering thing. And it is most important, because if your tender is foolproof, you are not going to face any problem in future, whether it is a local audit, it is a central audit, or it could be ED or maybe anyone. So you need not to worry about anything if your tender or like financial document is uh, free from any error. Okay, then you need to take care of all the minute details of technical, administrative, and functional aspects in the tender. Then the feasibility report that you prepared with the help of some of the people with before actually floating the tender, that report can help you. And generally the tenders are in two parts, like one is technical bid. Once the people are able to clear that technical bid, then the financial bid is open, and of course then L1 is given the PO, purchase order. So, like even we are using nowadays GEM, but almost we are preparing same type of documents. We are opening online bid, technical bid. Sometimes we are keeping a meeting as well with the people who are applying for the bid to clarify their doubts. And then once people are clear of technical bid, then the financial bid is also open. Then we can ask the customer references, where you have implemented this technology, those who are bidders, and we can also plan site visit. We have to actually visit to the site so that people are able to see what actually they have done. Once you are holding discussion with the librarian of those particular institution, they will be able to share their experience whether it is working fine or not working fine. And of course you have to judge vendors technology know-how, whether the vendor who is implementing is really doing good in the profession, or they are just using some company's equipment, and they are just uh, employing some middleman to employ the technology. So that will not help you. That is going to create a problem for you. And of course, no incomplete, vague, and conditionally submitted bid should be accepted. And the bidder should have sufficient successful practical experience of delivering the equipment and like implementing and executing the same. And of course, the item to be supplied should have a global accepted presence. Those are not locally made or locally standard. It may be the equipment which is like has global standard or following the global standard. It may be national equipment, no problem. It may be like local at a country level, but of course it should be following some global standards. And then supplied equipment should allow forward compatibility. What does this mean? Forward compatibility means we should be able to take it forward in the future. We should be able to add on. It should be compatible with other tags or maybe with other machines. And the proven capability of vendor to integrate with multiple elements, like the vendor should be able to employ or should be able to integrate with multiple library management system. Means today we are using Koha, tomorrow if I'm shifting to X Libris or maybe eGranthale or maybe Open Biblio. So I think the vendor should be able to support us, and they should have that much exposure. And delivery schedule, on-site training, warranty, and AMC should also be clearly defined. And payment should be made after successful installation and commissioning. And security money for the post-commissioning period may also be kept if your institution require that. So still, some of the people are keeping the security money as well. So as far as the technical bit are concerned, so I think we have to take care of some of the important points as part of technical bit. Like the first and most important is migration. Like if we are implementing RFID technology and we are changing the software as well, we have to see whether the bidder is able to support in migration as well uh, without major data loss. And are they going to use some middleware? So it is always advisable if we are able to manage without middleware, like if you are able to manage with some international protocol, open protocol like SIP2, that helps. Then we should talk about multi-purpose RFID station in our technical bit. Multi-purpose RFID station means RFID station which can do multiple job. Like it can help you issue the book, it can help you return the book, it can help you in tagging your ID card, it can help you in tagging the book's fresh card. It should be able to untag as well, and we have to give the tag details as well. What should be the dimension of the tag, like whether it will be HF tag, UHF tag, or uh, like what should be the dimension. Then we have to mention the smart card details as well if we are like adding smart card in our tender. And nowadays the self check-in check-out station are available which can work for both the purposes. Means you can check in the book using that stop station, self check-in station or out station, and you can return as well. But of course, book drop box are more popular. So there can be a separate book drop box where you can only return the books, and there can be a kiosk, RFID kiosk, where you can check in through which you can check in the book. Then the RFID gates, those are known as EAS, Electronic Article Surveillance Pedestal RFID gate. If you are going to use that, you have to like identify in advance through your technical bit. So it is always advisable to have like transparent glass based or maybe some fiber based gates. And are you going to add people counter in the RFID system for managing the flow of the people who are the people who are coming for the library and for what purpose they are coming? And if you want to use the portable handheld readers or self-management system to check the misplaced books, that is, you can add, and you can add the reader's specification, you can read the antenna specification, you can also add details about job work, like who will be tagging if the books are dirty, how those, who will be cleaning those, who will be reshelving the books after doing the necessary work. Once your work is done, training is also important requirement. And then of course after installation, what will be the post installation services aspect. Of course, as far as the financial bid is concerned, the most important component in financial bid is that it should be on a turnkey basis. Means if you are giving a tender to someone, it should be together, like tag, stop station, checkout machine, book drop box, handheld barcode scanner, handheld RFID scanner. So there are different component. So the tender should go to one vendor only. It should not be like one equipment is will be supplied by one vendor, another one by another one. So this is what the turnkey basis means. Turnkey basis means all the equipment of that tender bid will be supplied by one vendor only. And then you have to like make clearly like what will be the total number of units that you will be requiring as RFID tags, and what will be the cost, or how many number of total tags you require, like 1 lakh, 2 lakh, whatever is the number. Then, if you are including RFID smart card system, you have to mention the name. Name means the type of card, like MyFair card or NFC card or whatever type of card, and its dimension. Uh, then you have to identify the details of multipurpose RFID station or check-in check-out station or ES gate or book drop box or self-management system or RFID server layer for integration, or RFID software if required, job work and post warranty AMC charges as well. So I think these are important component for technical bid, and these are important component of financial. So if you are done with these things really well, then of course you will be able to implement a good RFID project. So for example, this is a screenshot from IT Delhi. So I think earlier when implemented in 2010, there was no concept of properly pattern traffic counter. Now PTC is also available. people or patron traffic counter is somebody is entering in the library. They are placing their RFID card here on the patron traffic counter. Then it is up to you how many options you want to see. Like this is Nabi Hasan, whose email ID and validity of card, everything is displayed, and they can identify by touching the purpose of coming to library, like check out, check in, for what purpose they are coming to library. So this way you are able to identify like for what purpose person is coming to library. So this is an important like slide I have taken from my colleague like Dr. Manu and Dr. Neeraj prepared this slide for some other purpose. So like there was a question from our administration. Who are the people who are coming to the library? Are these UG student, PG student, research scholars, or faculty member? So I think with the help of this patron traffic counter and with their iCard like this, we were able to identify because their card detail was there. And another interesting aspect which was asked by our administration was like they wanted to see wise uh, uh, department wise student coming to the library or faculty member user coming to the library. So I think with the help of this patron traffic counter we were able to identify who is coming to the library, like with the details available in the iCard and the database we could identify which unit is using the library most. For example, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, physics, or like computer science or textile and fiber engineering people use the library maximum. So I think these smaller equipment, which may be costing about 2,50,000 only, are able to help you identify or provide you all these data. So this is how we could identify different data of library usage, and it is very helpful while you are pursuing some cases for renovation or usage of library, or when someone is asking you do we really need library? Who is coming to the library? What is the purpose of library? For what purpose people are coming to library? Again, this data has been compiled under the supervision of Dr. Neeraj and Manu, and many people helped compiling this data, including Dr. Mohit and Shankar Chauhan, Mr. Shankar Chauhan, because this data has been taken through computer application and also from Reader Services Division. So this is how the options have been given in the IT Delhi Central Library. It is up to you what option you want on any kiosk. So this is a option available from my like self checkout kiosk. We have given these four options mainly: checkout, check in. You want to see the account detail or renewal, but it is up to you only. In the same way, these are the option. Uh, Further, while you are like starting using your card and you are trying to get the book issued, then you will be prompted to next screen, and then further next screen you can place your RFID card on at one point, and you can place the book that you want to get issued uh, on the staff this self checkout machine, and your details will be displayed, and it will be shown that the book has been issued to Nabi Hassan. It is saying issued items. Then you have an option to print the slip as well. You can print slip or you can cancel print as well. And immediately a mail will be generated through Koha to your email ID as well. Okay, so this is a Dropbox. So here you can simply drop a book, and once you have dropped a book, you can see that the further options will be these. Like it will show in green that the book has been returned, and please wait while returning the book. This is the message while the book was being returned or was in process. Okay, and then of course you have an option to print the receipt, like you are printing the receipt from the ATM machine, and it is showing item returned. It has accession number, it has the title of the book, it has the member ID, and of course date and time as well. And then thank you for using the book drop, and immediately a an email will be sent to the user using Koha software which IT Delhi is using. So if some of the people are not comfortable in getting the self checkout books, or if they are not interested in dropping the book in the drop box, they can also come to the circulation counter. There on the circulation counter, they have staff station, RFID staff station. So my team at circulation counter can use the staff station, RFID staff station, for checking out or checking in the books. So this is how the menu will look like if they are using the self check-in or sorry, staff check-in or staff checkout method using staff station, which has been kept at the circulation counter, because still some of the people may not be comfortable in self check-in or self checkout. They are still like in on airport as well, not everyone is able to print the boarding pass, or not everyone is able to like use digi yatra. Still people are carrying the ticket and they are going to baggage counter, and they are like getting the printed hard copy of the boarding pass. Okay, so those type of people may get the book checked out or checked in using RFID staff station from the circulation counter, as you are seeing on my screen. Okay, so once a book is checked out, a mail is issued using Koha software, like Dr. Nabi Hasan, employee code. The following book has been issued today to you. The title of the book, accession number of the book, and the due date of the book will also be there. And for more detail, please log into your OPEC and you can see further detail. So this mail is being sent by default using Koha from the Reader Services Division. Reader Service Division is a division in IT Delhi Central Library which you can better understand as a circulation section, bigger circulation section. In the same way, once a book has been like checked in, email will be issued like the following book has been returned today by you. The title of the book and same detail like the date and the time as well. Tagging is an important activity. We are tagging the RFID smart card, which is identity card. We are also tagging books as well. Tagging means we are like there is a tag inside a RFID card, or there is a tag inside a book. Like there is a tag in the your toll for using for toll purposes as well. So we have like placed the tag on the book. So it's a basically fresh tag. So we have to tag the book. Means we are inserting the only accession number of the book in the item or in the book. So once the book comes in close contact of the staff station, like this is a RFID staff station of IIT Delhi Central Library, then all the details will be displayed. This accession number will be converted into a full entry from the OPEC, from the database, Koha database, and this is how the book will be tagged. In the same way, if you are coming to the library with a new RFID card, which has been prepared by the security unit, or maybe any other unit, student unit, that is Dean Academics, so that also need to be tagged. Otherwise, it cannot be used. It will not be usable. Tagging means you are simply integrating your employee code with the RFID tag, and that employee code will be converted to display your full entry from the Koha database. So these are our exit sensors, or you can say ES pedestal, electronic article surveillance gate. So these gate antennas issue a warning signal and activate the alarm system if a document pasted with the label is leaving the premises without an issued book, or without an outward entry into the Koha software. It may also be used to count the incoming outgoing people as well, with the facility to record their movement. For example, here you can see there is a small screen which counts the number of people coming out, going out as well, coming in, going out. But of course, it will count the number of people passing through the gate. but to have the accurate information about a person who is using the library, you need to use this PTC, patron traffic counter. So the system may be integrated with electronic counter, backcam, trigger, CCTV recording. You can add further features to these type of gate. So this is the gate without a alarm, and this is the gate when a book is passing through uh, the gate without actually see. So he's like my colleague Mukesh Bahera, who is who prepared, who took these pictures, got these pictures clicked by practically experiencing and like for showing to you as well. So these are important machines which are used in IT Delhi Central Library currently. Like this is patron traffic counter for identifying the type of user. This is a self checkout machine. You can return the book as well with the help of self checkout machine, but there is no book drop box. You have to return and then you have to keep it somewhere or give it back to my people. But you can of course return the book in the book drop box as well. So when I was in Cornell University in 2006 as a Norman E. Warlock Fellow, so you will be surprised to know the RFID technology in villages in America, even in 2006, was very popular. So this is a actual photograph taken by me during that time uh, from the Ithaca village, okay, in the New York state. New York is a city and it is a state as well. So you see, there were provision for book return, there were provision for audiovisual return, and there were provision for other different type of returns as well. So even that time it was popular there. So this is a sample of like IT Delhi's RFID card, and this is a sample of my RFID card of 2006 from Cornell University. Okay, so there is a huge difference. Like in Cornell University in 2006 as well, you can read here. Cornell is not responsible for the monetary value on this card if lost or stolen. It means even that time itself in 2006, the RFID ID card was used for different purposes, even for as a debit card for different financial transactions as well. Unfortunately, we are still not able to convert our RFID card into a debit card or for like for payments as well. So these are two examples of RFID smart card of 2024 of IIT Delhi and 2006 of Cornell University. This is an example of like self stock management system to find out the misplaced book. Like a management book might be there in engineering collection, intentionally kept by a student who don't want to allow others to read that book, and also it is useful in cases of stock verification. But the problem with our system in Indian system is that our shelves are mostly metal shelf, so it collided with those metal shelves and it may sometime not be giving you correct results. As far as the components of RFID are concerned, RFID tag or transponder is the most important component of RFID system. You can see different roles of RFID tags showing different type of tags, showing different sizes of tag. For example, active tag, passive tag, high frequency, ultra high frequency, or hybrid tag. So these are basically paper thin smart labels which are electronically programmed, consisting of an integrated circuit, an antenna coil that communicates with a reader by means of a radio frequency signal. So many types of RFID tags are available, like active, passive. Uh, so, like active tag are battery assisted tag where there is a battery, their range is more, but their life is limited. Passive tag are without battery and they becomes activated when they are in the RF range, and their life is more. So this is how a passive RFID tag look like from the inside. You can remove the this adhesive, and then this type of tag is there, like your you can say toll or fast tag. So these are some of the details of the tag in general, because it depends upon the type of tag. So details of all the tag are different. For example, this is a tag which is a paper thin 50 by 50 tag with at least 1024 bits memory, and it is following ISO 15693 or 18000-3 compliant standard. It is read write able tag, and its storage capacity is obviously limited, and tags come with many flavors as I discussed, like active, passive, or ultra high frequency, etc. So this is the one of the like commonly used tag in India with using uh, a particular RFID ISO standard. So if you want to further know about these tags, then here you can see it, how much time I have, Dr. Tripathi. It is already 9:10.
Sir,
Dr. Tripathi.
you can take, sir. It is up to you. It is up to you, sir. You can continue the session, or
So
you
I will
can
try to like conclude
leave
in
the
next
question.
15 minutes. I think I enjoyed delivering this lecture, and I forgot
Sir,
about the
we are
time.
all enjoying. We are all enjoying, sir, and it is
So,
really very informative and beneficial for everyone, sir.
thank you. So these are some of
So
the
you can
tag details.
continue,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. So these are two comparison, like comparison of active RFID tag with the passive RFID tag. Like if you want to see what is the power source in case of active, it is internal. In case of passive, it is transferred when for example, the book is coming in close contact of the gate, then it is RF field and then it becomes activated. In the same way, there are different power availability, there are different communication range. Obviously, passive tag has least like range, but of course, its life is very long. Uh, it may remain active throughout life as well, but in case of like active RFID tag, its life is limited. And these are other parameters like memory operation. So now the cost has further reduced. The active RFID tag may be available in 15 rupees, or maybe passive may be available in 10 rupees as well. So these are the operating frequencies, a little bit technical thing, like operating frequencies of as far as the low frequency, high frequency, ultra high frequency, or microwave is concerned. Microwave is still not being used in libraries. So you can see what is the like frequency, what is the typical RFID approximate read range, and what are the characteristics, and what is the typical use. For example, low frequency, it is used in these things, and like for high frequency, we are using for these purposes, and microwave is the most important technology which is yet not used in libraries. So this is description of RFID reader or interrogator. So RFID reader consists of a transmitter, receiver, antenna, and a decoder. It communicates with RFID tags, identify them, and receive data stored in the tag. So this is how a communication is established between a tag and a computer software with the help of reader, antenna, or you can say interrogator. So let's talk about application software or middleware or RFID server layer. So it is used for integration with RFID devices and the library management system, and it provide reader connectivity to other systems on the network. It translate data and transmit to its other applications. So software like Koha does not need it, as it can run directly through SIP2 protocol. So like as far as these open source software where there is no issue of source code, etc., you doesn't require any middleware. Like earlier we were using Lipsys software, and we had to use that LSmart as well for communicating with our database server. Then there is one thing known as server or docking station. You can say it is one on which the software that interfaces with the integrated library automation software is loaded. The server is the heart of course, comprehensive RFID system. It is the communication gateway among the various components. So These are the initial printer that one of such printer we purchased, but later on currently we have a very high end printer imported from outside, which is used for printing the smart card for the staff. So it was purchased keeping in view the bulk printing for our people. So the purpose of showing this screen is that if you are installing the RFID system in the library, better to have a smart card printer as well, because although if you have many students, like IT Delhi has 13,000 students, we are not able to print through this printer, we are outsourcing it. But in case of employees or an urgent need, at least you can take out the smart card using your own printer. You are not dependent on vendor, you may require the card urgently. So I think this I have already covered. This is the patron traffic counter, which counts the movement of the people with their identity. And now robotics has is becoming very popular in the libraries. Means people are integrating robotics with the RFID technology, and it helps in automated check-in, check-out, inventory management, interactive display and guides. It can be used in maintenance and cleaning. Means robots can be used with cleaning purposes as well. It helps in security and surveillance and many other things, including data collection and analysis. So now expert system and robotics, these are like used in the library to streamline processes and improve user experience. Ultimately, user is the king, and the process is the queen. This is the statement that has been given today by one of the professors who delivered a keynote lecture in IT Delhi Central Library today. So now with the help of integrated robotic things, we can manage these smart libraries, and these are actual example. These are not like simple example. You can uh, visit the websites of these libraries, like Hunt Library, North Carolina, or you can also click this link which will take you to the video of actually these are very costly technologies. So these developed countries are just making fun of these technologies. Practically, if we want to implement in India, of course we require a lot of money, and of course we need to convince our organization as well, as why do we need these technology, because there may not be much uses of these technologies in India. So this is actually the actual picture of the Hunt Library, which is in North Carolina. And this whole library is robotic library only. There is no human intervention. If you want to get a book issued, you go to the circulation counter, give a command through voice or through key, and the book will be delivered to you by robot or these machine in next 5 minutes maximum. In the same way, you can return the book, and the book will be uh, placed back in boxes. The books are not kept in racks, but these are kept in different size of boxes. And this is a new building. This is not a old building. This is the new library, which the Hunt Library, the library which is one of the most modern library as far as the robotic circulation is concerned. So this is again a picture, actual picture from a robotic circulation in practice or the book dispensing machine. It is just like a you can say your ATM machine. The books are here, and the machine or the ATM machine type of thing is here. You can give the command through this screen, and you can get a book issued, any book which is there in the list, or you can purchase the book as well through this machine, and you can keep it with you. So this is the actual picture. You can visit these links, and you will find how these libraries are working. Then people are using different technologies. This is the present. These are some of the slides, 2 3 slides, which I have which the credit goes to my interns who presented these slide in one of their presentations. I have given the link as well. These full PPTs are available on these links from IT Delhi website, Central Live website. So this is the TEMI, which is basically a robot, RFID based robot from the NTU Singapore, and it is using RFID with AI. Its name is TEMI, and it is controlled by voice like Siri using a Tami app, and you can do different works using this robotic RFID based AI based system. So this is like another system using machine learning with RFID. One is from by PU library, and the name of this robot is Pepper, and it is used for displaying user guidance. And this is another robot known as Anson, like a lady, young girl, and this is from Library of Conan University, and it is basically a digital reference assistant. So instead, a human is helping you in the reference queries. These full PPTs are available from my Central Library website repository. You can just visit and download as well. So these are also two important robots from the Temsec Polytechnic Library, Robbie and Bobby, and they are very fast. They can scan over 32,000 pages per day. They can deliver material such as newspapers, magazines, and brochures, as well as they can welcome, or they can direct the users as well. So these are very important development which are practically there, and these are basically bulk separators. The books are being returned through the conveyor belt or the machine, and the books are separated using bulk separators. So there may not be any human intervention required while you are using the bulk separator. So these are the actual picture. I had been to Abu Dhabi campus of IIT Delhi, and I had an opportunity to visit this Mohammed bin Rashid library, which is one of the most modern public RFID AI based library in the world. You can see Burj Khalifa here. It is very close to Burj Khalifa. You can see beautiful view of this Mohammed bin Rashid library, which is a book shaped library, and see how beautiful it looks. It looks beautiful from outside, and it is more beautiful from inside as well. So these are the actual pictures from inside. Like I played with this robot uh, for different library services, and these are the basically RFID based conveyor belt or rails through which the books are delivered from different corners at this point, and they are using basically bibliotheca technology in the library. So these are some of the RFID standard which are used in the library. One of the most popular standard is 15693 ISO standard, and also some of the libraries are using like ISO 18000-3 or ISO 28560 or ISO 1 triple four three A. And these standards works on 13.56 megahertz. The tags and the equipment used may carry the FCC and ENET SI certification. They may also follow NSIP or SIP2 protocol, and generally the voltage requirement could be 230 volt, and the data interface could be RS232. So more details about these technical things are available in these links. So this is a typical RFID diagram which I have taken from Google. I have acknowledged this as well. Source, like in a library, typical RFID based library, you have a uh, RFID staff station who are tagging as well. Then they are also providing check-in, check-out services using RFID staff station. Then there is a self-checkout in point. There is a book drop. There is a self-management system, and then there is a anti-theft detection gate, which is known as electronic article surveillance gate. So this is a slide which says how does library RFID system work. The RFID reader sends out EM waves in the RF spectrum. When the tag enters the RF field, the tag's electronic circuits are powered by energy from the RF field. The tag then modulates the waves and sends them back to the reader. The reader converts the signals received from the tag into digital data and send it to host computer. So this is how our RFID system work. So I think I have already covered major advantages of like RFID system. Still, if you want me to like repeat it, so you can see like RFID system is not basically for, you can say, security purpose only. It helps you in branding, in hassle-free issue return. it increases the security function as well, because many people are not sure while removing the RFID tag will help them not to be checked. Then it gives you freedom for flexible timings, and it saves your staff's time as well. You can do quick inventorying or shelving, reshelving, or stock verification. It basically enhances user experience, and RFID tags last longer than your barcodes. Then ES exit gates have option to keep record of incoming and outgoing library users with recording. And of course, it can be integrated with your fingerprint or face or any other biological like entity as well. As I have already discussed with you, some of the things, the most important limitation of RFID technology is high cost. So if you really need RFID technology, your transaction is very huge, your people are stealing the books, you want to give more freedom to your users, then only you need RFID. You do not need RFID system if your library is very small, if transaction is not very high, or if many users are not visiting the library. Then, of course, there are interoperability and standardization. Like when we migrated from Lipsys to Koha, then there was a challenge to use the existing equipment. So we took help of some people who could integrate our old equipment with the Koha as well. But that is a big problem. Of course, RFID technology can be easily compromised. So please understand that RFID technology is not foolproof. You can easily compromise. You can simply remove the tag. You can compromise it with the normal aluminum foil that you are using in the home for wrapping your food. You can also compromise with the coin. You can also compromise with the processor part of your laptop. And there are various ways you can do all the mischief. You can always do that. But of course, these things should not be discussed much in public. Then there is a problem of moisture, metal, mist, distance in a country like India. And if the positioning of antenna is not correct, that also affect your functioning. As I said, physical damage is also possible. Anybody can remove the tag. And there are some of the like equipment where tagging is little bit difficult, like on pamphlet magazines. And when you are transitioning from barcode to RFID, that may lead to chaos among the users. Then there are some privacy and ethical issues. People are not comfortable. Their data is stored in the RFID tag. And of course, vendor support is one of the most important problem in India. Once your equipment is sold out, people are not coming back to you for services. Then AMC charges are little bit higher, maybe up to 15% of the equipment cost they are charging every year. Then sometime our staff or people are not finding it easy to adopt the technology. So I think I need not to compare barcode with RFID, but if you want to see, this is the slide which says that of course RFID technology is much better comparing barcode. And if you want to compare it with EM technology, the if you want to implement it technology in a system like big system, for example, Aligarh Muslim University, University of Delhi, JNU, etc. So I think RFID technology may not be much successful because the students are little bit different, and they may easily compromise the RFID technology because these are crowded library. So in such libraries, EM technology is better because EM strip cannot be easily removed. It takes the color of the book, but if you want to give freedom, and like if you are like more secured, like your student are little bit better, like IT Delhi, where there are very few theft cases, then you can go ahead with RFID technology. So this is hybrid technology. Some of the people are using hybrid technology, means they are putting in a book RFID tag and the EM strip as well, so that they are able to save their book from stealing, and also want to give freedom to their user. But this type of technology is very costly. You have to install specific equipment. All the machines are specific. Your tags are specific, and it is a costly, and Like the maintenance is also really not good, and also like it is working not really great. The hybrid technology have so many errors. So these are some of the vendors with a presence in India, like Rapid Radio, two C, Rapid Radio is Ahmedabad based, 2CQR is from South, Select is working in this part, like Delhi NCR. Also, Total IT Solution is from this area. BGs is from Bombay. Then Bex Book Buddies is also working in Delhi. Informatics is working from Bangalore. Then Lipsis Corporation, is working from Gurgaon. So these are very active vendors. There are many others I don't want to name, but these are the active vendors. These are some of the RFID installations from India. There could be many. There could be many in every city. So if you want to explore installing a RFID system, please visit any of these libraries before implementing. For example, Jamia Hamdard has implemented RFID with fingerprint. Okay, so they have implemented uh, with biological parameters as well with more security. Another library in Delhi has implemented hybrid technology, means EM plus RFID. I don't want to name that library. So these are like RFID smart card application in libraries. RFID card is not only used for issue and return of books. You can provide other different type of accesses using smart card applications. And of course, as I shared with you that like people are integrating RFID technology with biometrics as well, like Jamia Hamdard University Library in Delhi. They have integrated RFID with the finger like biological things as well. So this is a small survey which was conducted by me and my intern Sunita Saini. We have published this study as well. So it was conducted on people with student, library staff, faculty, and others. And this is the ranking of users' preference for RFID use. You can see it helped them in increased circulation timing and saving their timing. Multiple book transaction was possible, and they were happy with self issue and return. And this is the frequency of the use of RFID system. So one of most important frequency, once, more than once in a month, means people are coming almost a every week to the library. And this is the rating of circulation system using RFID, means after implementation of RFID, people are feeling really very good. 50% of the people are feeling very good and excellent as well, up to uh, great level. So 94% of the people said that they are very happy with the Dropbox and they are making use of the Dropbox as well. And this is the effectiveness of RFID system for security of books. Like although the technology can be easily compromised, but since gate is there, people are really cautious and worried. They don't want to steal the book in a system like IT Delhi. And this is the positive change that we could see in the attitude of users after implementation of the technology. And the other user also want RFID to be used in other areas as well, apart from like simply book issue and return. This is what the future of RFID in libraries is as far as the survey is concerned. So, with this, I would like to sum up that worldwide RFID and related access technologies like smart card and biometrics are very common in libraries and offices. And the combination of RFID, smart card, biometric, expert system, and robotics has greatly enhanced library security and service experience of the users as well. And these technologies have streamlined operations, different processes, and by embracing these technological advancement and maintaining a user-centric approach, libraries can ensure that their collections remain both secure and accessible, enriching the lives of their communities for years to come. So I have taken content from different sources. So I mean, when IIT Delhi implemented the RFID, it was a team IIT Delhi, and the slide that you are seeing, uh, these slides have contribution from my different people, and content have been taken from my different other presentations as well. So I wish to acknowledge all those content and content providers. Thank you very much, Dr. Tripathi. If there are any questions coming, people can send me an email, or they can. I don't know how you would like to take it forward. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you very much from all the participants and from my own, we all would like to express sincere thanks for covering. I think you have covered all the details. If anyone is willing to implement RFID, I don't think they will find any difficulty because you have touched upon every steps for layman, or if anyone is already using and missing any point, I think they will find this session very useful. And I would like to mention here that this recording will remain available on the YouTube. I will share the link again. Those who want to see, they can again just listen sir's talk, and they can go step by step as sir has suggested. So, as sir has already mentioned that if you have any query or question related to RFID, it is my request that you please send mail to me, dptripathi79 at the rate gmail.com or librarianguide at the rate gmail.com. All those relevant questions which can be answered, and sir feels that it can be answered. So, with the permission of sir, I'm not just committing. If possible, sir will reply, or we will have one 15-minute session to answer on any free day when sir is available. So if that is convenient to sir, only then only sir will address, or if sir wants to address the queries through mail, sir will reply. But you please send the question to librarianguide at gmail.com. Only the relevant question. If you have any difficulty related to RFID or implementation process, or you want to get some awareness about the today's session. So, sir, really it was very informative. Covered every aspect of RFID, sir. So, thank you very much. You have enlightened all of us through light on the different aspect, and you have accepted our invitation to be the part of this online session. For this, we are really highly thankful to you, sir, from finding time from your busy schedule. With these
Thank you
words,
very much, Dr.
once
Tripathi.
again,
I
sir,
think, yeah, I think I can take up the question by email. If you have any question or comments, you can send me an email. You can call me as well. So, otherwise, I think this presentation is already available on Central Library IT Delhi website. So, you can download the full presentation. It may not be updated until today. You may find Texas machines and those branding, ellipsis branding, but I think most of the contents are same. Okay, 60% content could be the same. Thank you very much, and please allow me to leave now.
thank you, sir. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for joining
Thank
and
you.
guiding us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Wish you a very happy evening ahead. Okay, sir. Uh, okay, so as per our schedule, we have another session. We have with us as during session, sir has already discussed that there are many people who are actively involved in RFID implementation, and Select is also one of the party, you can say, or the team who is taking care of the RFID implementation, and they have voluntarily accepted to demonstrate the practical the function of the RFID. And with us, we are fortunate that today we have with us Mr. Vijender from the Select. He would demonstrate the practical aspect of RFID. How does it really work? And I welcome Mr. Vijay on behalf of all the participants and my own behalf. And before I hand over the session to you, I request that please conclude the session within 15 minutes because it is already 9:36. So over to you, Mr. Vijay.
Thank you, Dr. Tripathi. Thank you for having me here, and thank you for keeping my session after Dr. Hasan's session because he touched upon all the technical details, operational details, procurement ways, and advantages and disadvantages of the systems. He touched upon almost every part of it that I would actually like the audience or the Indian users to experience. And we are actually glad that Dr. Hasan was here presenting the system, because they are using our system. So he is our brand ambassador. What Dr. Hassan actually provided was the complete comprehensive view of the system, the components which are there, RFID tags, the workstations, gates, book drop boxes, self-check machines, pattern traffic counter, all those things he very well presented technically, their operational aspects, all those things. What I particularly want to present here is something new that we are trying to do in the library ecosystem, particularly related to the RFID part. We do a lot many other things as well, but particularly for the RFID part that we are trying to do here. As Sir rightly said, so there is a huge entry level cost for this RFID system. Sir had mentioned that about 10, 12 years back, they kind of started the RFID system. They had a budget of about 1 CR. I mean, yes, things were a bit costly at that time. The prices have come down. But still, if you see, if you are able to see my screen, about 8 out of 10 traditional RFID systems need an upgrade every 8 to 10 years. This may be 12 years, 15 years, but sometimes a lot of them need an upgrade. And the problem which happens is that it's basically a hardware. There is wear and tear. There are dependencies on technologies. It might be a Windows upgrade. It might be a different kind of processor that is working now. So different things kind of force the universities or educational institutes or libraries per se to upgrade the system. Out of 10, actually 8 of them normally upgrade. In fact, like Dr. Hassan said, that probably in the during 2010 8 2010 2013 14 era, a lot of RFID implementations happened. And what is disheartening to see actually is that currently a lot of them are now going for an upgrade, because those are actually hardware things. But the best part about those things was that the chips that are there on the books, most of them, I mean, if you are using a Bibliotheca or a 3M system provided by us at Select, they will be having lifetime warranty. So nothing will happen to them. So you just have to kind of take care of the capital equipment per se. But what we are trying to do at Select is we are trying to kind of answer those queries from the market, because what we believe is that we want to understand what is their requirement in the market. Our A lot of our products are based on what is the requirement from the library side, like pattern traffic counter, which is there in IIT Delhi. That was made specifically after we got a lot of requirements from library side, where they wanted to measure the actual footfall of the libraries. I mean, not having that paper register at the library which said that, okay, this particular person at this time, and then converting that into an Excel file and getting a graph out of it, which was not possible at all. So we got all that feedback from the library community, and we made that pattern traffic counter, which I believe is one of our best products currently and is being loved by the library community. So here also, what we are trying to do with the RFID system, the basic RFID system, is we are trying to answer certain fundamental things, like, I mean, basically RFID system is so much hardware dependent. I mean, there is a self-check kiosk, there is a gate, there is a book drop, there is a pattern traffic counter, there is an opaque kiosk, and the implementation costs are very exorbitant per se. I mean, if you have to implement all these things, then your entry level costs are pretty high. And if you have this exit area in the library, which is more than, let's say, 4 or 5 feet, then you won't be able to cater to that distance with only two panels. You will have to have a third panel or maybe a fourth panel. So in IIT Delhi, we had three panels. At different location, we had two panels, or maybe four panels for that matter. So that is one of the limitation of RFID, that between these two, you can only have, let's say, 1 meter or 1.6 meter at max distance. And even the handheld readers, because these are using high frequency technology, so it only has a read range which is limited to 10 to 15 centimeters. So you almost have to touch each and every book for the stock taking. So what we are trying to say is, what if we are kind of able to make it less hardware dependent? We are able to decrease the entry level costs. We are getting better detection, so that I don't have to have these multiple panels at every location, and my handheld readers are actually able to do better read range. And for that thing, what we have used is some part of hardware interface, some part of AI into the RFID system, and that is what we are trying to do through a product called as Bibliotrace. Now, it's a simple yet smart and asset light AI powered library automation system, which will help in security, which will help in automation, which will help in almost all of the things which traditional RFID is doing at fraction of a cost. I mean, you won't actually feel that 1 CR, 2 CR kind of a cost, or even 15 lakh, 20 lakh kind of a cost. Now, in a traditional RFID, typically we have this RFID gate, we have a self-check kiosk, we have a book drop box, we have staff workstations, we have an opaque kiosk, maybe a pattern traffic counter. These are, maybe you may even have a mobile app connected to Koha or any other library software. Now, what if I tell you that you don't need all these things? You can simply do away with them and just have these two things: one, an RFID gate, and a mobile app, and a Bibliotrace software. So how this thing actually works is, basically, the gate will take care of the security and the software will take care of the automation part. So your self-check, your staff workstation, your opaque kiosk as well, or even pattern traffic counter, those things can all be merged into the software application itself. So we just need a basic RFID gate and a basic software to take it forward. Now, if we look about the technical aspects, this is traditional RFID and this is the Bibliotrace system. Now, detection range of a traditional RFID, as I said, is very low. You can go maximum 1.5 or 1.6 meter between the two pedestals, whereas detection rate in Bibliotrace is actually 2 meter, 3 meter very easily. The stock taking can be very fast, can be from a pretty decent distance up to 2 meters very easily, whereas in traditional RFID it is very close to the book spine that you have to go and try to read those RFID chips on the books. Because there is very little hardware, so maintenance is comparatively easy, is very minimal. And since in traditional RFID we have a lot of hardware, so the maintenance is usually on a higher side. Uh, in Bibliotrace, we only have a single software. There are no multiple softwares. One software will take care of all of the things. In traditional hardware, we will have one software on self-check machine, a different software on book drop machine. Pattern traffic counter will have different. There will be a middleware. There will be handheld reader software. So multiple softwares, and then of course they will be talking to each other and the LMS as well. But you will have to get accustomed to multiple things. So what we are trying to do is simplify the things, keep it asset light, and make it more productive. And in terms of the operationals as well, if you see, when it is less hardware, whereas as compared to traditional hardware, there are a lot of hardware involved. And because there is a lot of hardware involved, so you will have huge entry level costs. Your capital cost is actually higher. Like in previous presentations, sir mentioned that for a library of 7,000, 20,000 books, probably it may not be needed, because the entry level cost is itself that you may not be able to justify the ROI of that system. Whereas in Bibliotrace, there is no entry level cost, there is no capital cost per se. Whatever Bibliotrace is doing is actually kind of a maintenance thing which is included in the Bibliotrace package. And if you want maintenance, suppose you get from a for a traditional RFID system from any vendor in India, you will get 1 year warranty or 2 year or at max 3 year warranty by default. And post that, you will have to pay for some sort of an AMC. Sir very well mentioned that at times, because of using certain proprietary things, so the vendor may charge 15%, 10%, depending upon, their business model. They may charge higher maintenance for traditional RFID. Whereas in Bibliotrace, all that maintenance cost, everything is included. And in a traditional RFID, your consumable cost, an RFID tag, depending upon the kind of tag you choose, we choose a non-Chinese tag. This can be 14, 15 rupees very easily. But in Bibliotrace, it will be comparatively low. It will be at least 20%, 30% lower. So it comes to the total cost of ownership. If you see in a traditional RFID, if I have to start RFID system with a basic, assuming a single unit of gate, a self-check kiosk, staff station, book drop, software and apps, you will start somewhere around 11 lakh rupees. Next year, you will pay an AMC of, let's say, 8%, 10% minimal AMCs. And over a period of time, 10 years, you'll be spending somewhere around 20 lakh rupees just on the capital equipments. Whereas with Bibliotrace, you start somewhere around 1.5, 2 lakh rupees, and you just pay that constant amount. And even after 10 years, when your entire capital equipment is fully covered, the performance of that system is fully covered, you don't have to worry about even the smaller things or breakdowns. The system is fully covered by Bibliotrace system. So even after 10 years, the cost of ownership is actually 20% lower than the traditional RFID. I'm saying 10 years. So mostly when I started my first slide, so mostly traditional RFID after 10 years, the OEM may not be able to support the hardware. Eventually, you may have to maybe 10, 12, after 10, 12 years, you will have to kind of upgrade the hardware. The OS might change, the RFID, of course, the frequency won't change, but the RFID performance of the reader might change. Multiplexers may have to be redone. So your cost after 10 years is again going to increase, whereas this thing kind of stays stagnant as it is even after 10 years. So the idea is that you are getting more automation because now you are able to get bigger read range, you are getting bigger handheld reader power, so you are able to detect from a longer distance. You are able to cover 2-3 meters of your exit at the libraries very easily, and you just use a simpler software system. And it also gives you a better security because it has much bigger detection range. So one of our customers in Delhi NCR, whenever somebody tries to take out a book, and he doesn't even have to clear the gate, actually whenever he goes close to the gate, the system is able to detect that thing and is able to create the audio and visual alarms. And of course, you get that brand visibility which you get from your traditional RFID. So you are still using RFID systems, you are still using the equipments or the software and all those things, but the cost of it or the cost of it is minimal, and the features are much more as compared to a traditional RFID. So all this thing is achieved by these two things only. If you see, there is an RFID gate which is there, which we will, which we can deploy at your exit locations, and Bibliotrace software, which will take care of all of the things for your regular circulation, issue, return, renewal, staff-based circulation. It also has an inbuilt mobile app, so that the student can issue the book themselves. They just scan the accession number of the book, or manually punch in the accession number of the book, and the book is issued to them. And all those things that limit you in a traditional RFID, like usage of usage of a mobile app to issue and return the books, that is possible in Bibliotrace. So the limitations that we had with traditional RFID, like entry level costs, smaller read range, um, uh, newer technologies were not that integratable. So all those things we are trying to do away using Bibliotrace. And this has been, again, as I said earlier, like pattern traffic counter was created based on feedback what we received from the library community. This also has been created after a lot of feedback that we received from the library community in last so many years about the entry cost, about the limitations of the technology. So we have created this thing specifically for the Indian context, and we want to kind of ensure that the adaptability of RFID technology is there across the spectrum, and even a smaller institute is able to kind of use RFID system in their library. So it doesn't have to be a big university or, let's say, lakhs and lakhs of collection. Even a smaller institute with 20,000 books, 15,000 books can use Bibliotrace to start their RFID journey. And once the co- collection builds, they can have multiple peripherals added to it. So that is one of the things that we are working at Select currently, and we have been doing RFID systems since some time now. A lot of you may have already used our systems, or if you want any information on our traditional RFID systems or Bibliotrace, how it may help you, how it will be beneficial for your library, or if you want to see a demo of this thing in any of our customer locations, my coordinates are there on this slide, or probably you can reach Tripathi sir as well. He can connect you to us for any kind of demo information that you may need for Bibliotrace RFID system or traditional RFID system as well. And thank you for having this session, Dr. Tripathi. And if there are any queries, we can take it on call or email anytime.
Thank you, Mr. Vijendra, for covering the different issues related to RFID. And you have already given your number and details. So if any participant is willing to know or wants to communicate with you, so they can directly communicate with you. They can get more detail. Or my request is that if you have any ready-made video which you can share with the participant, so you can send me. I will share with all, so they will get
Sure.
the visual understanding about the RFID system, how it works in the library, and what are the different components are integrated with each other, and whatever you have explained during your presentation. So it will really benefit the participants. So thank you
Sure.
for joining the session and demonstrating the different practical issues related to RFID. So once again, thank you very much. Uh, Now, I would like to express my sincere thanks to all the participants for joining this second day activity on the RFID in libraries. In the first session, we have already seen that Dr. Nabi Hasan sir has already explained in detail that how RFID can be effectively implemented in the library, and we can make our library system more strong, more useful for the library users. Only some of the suggestions sir has given that we have to keep in consideration while we are going for implementation. Some of the limitations which he has pointed out, that we have to be careful when we are going for the real implementation. And sir has already mentioned that if you have any query or question, so you can directly email to him, or you can directly call and talk to sir for more understanding about the RFID and how it can be implemented in library. So on behalf of all the participants, once again I'm thanking to both the speakers, Dr. Nabi Hasan sir and Mr. Vijayendra Kumar from Select, who has given their valuable time to throw lights on the different issues related to RFID, because RFID is required these days for many regions. I'm not going to dig again about the RFID, because we have more understanding about these two practical sessions. So tomorrow, once again, we are going to meet at 8 o'clock. We will be having another session with another topic, with another distinguished speaker, and we will talk more about the different tools and technologies which we can use in the library for better services to be provided to our library patrons. So without taking much of time, once again, I am expressing my sincere thanks to all the participants for taking and actively participating in this 3 day activity. Let us make it more informative and more interactive, so that we can have more discussion about the different practical issues and problems which we can face, or which we face every day in our day to day routine work in the library. So, with these words, once again, all of you, please accept my sincere thanks for joining the session and making it a wonderful online activity. Let's meet tomorrow. Till then, good night to all. Take care of yourself. Let us meet tomorrow again.